Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Frank Finance, where you can get your honest financial information and your questions answered. Today, I thought it'd be a good chance to talk about some things I got in the mail. So, for instance, these credit cards where they come up with bonuses, or these miles for signing up for their cards. Is it worth it? So I'm going to walk through 3 cards and talk about the 2 that I just got in the mail, and I'm sure you're going to start seeing plenty more of these come through, and let's talk about them so that you are prepared to make a good decision on whether or not it's worth it for you. All right, let's start with this. We're going to go through all 3 cards, and then we're going to talk briefly about what they all look like side by side. But first, we're going to go through the American Express Delta card. So I got this neat pamphlet. This pamphlet has awesome marketing in it. And their claim to fame with this card is when you sign up, you get 60,000 bonus miles, which is equivalent to $600 in flights. You can earn 2x miles at the grocery store, restaurants, and Delta, and you get your first annual fee waived. First checked bag is also free, and those are your perks with this card. So let's just use a flat $10,000. Let's assume you spend $10,000 in year 1. You have no annual fee because it's waived. And you spend all of your $10,000 on groceries and travel with Delta or the restaurants. And that means that you would get 20,000 miles back. So what is this card worth year 1? You would get $600 in flights in year 1 for a bonus. You'd get $200 from spending the $10,000. That's best case scenario, by the way. You do not have an annual fee year 1, and anytime you were to go through a Delta flight, your first check bag would be free. We're not going to assume any of that this year, but you could see if you fly so much as 2 times yourself, it covers off on the annual fee. So that is the first card that I'd like to talk about. The second card that is of interest is I got this sweet offer here from Wells Fargo that basically is giving $200 as a cash when you spend $1,000 in the first 3 months. Not only that, but you're going to get 2% back on all purchases, and you will have 15 months of 0% APR. So if you're going to, look to fund your wedding like we did, this is a great offer here where you can it's a free loan for 15 months, so you don't have to take a massive cash hit. Now, mind you, if you're a Dave Ramsey fan or anyone of that nature, he would tell you right now, you never borrow for your future. That is a horrible idea. But this is one hula hoop that I think is worth considering, if that's an option of yours. Plus, there's no annual fee. So same instance, if you spend $10,000, what is that worth? Well, you get the $200 bonus, plus you get $200 back for the 2%. So this one would be worth $400, slightly less than the American Express Delta. And then, because, why not show my favorite Capital One that I've had for well over a decade. It used to be, I don't know what it was back then, but it's called a Quicksilver now. It gives you 1.5% cash back. And to me, that gives me $150 back for the year. And so I just sit here and keep getting good credit score increases for keeping it. So I wanted to put that out there because I wanted the basic card out there for you to be able to reference back to. So what do we conclude on here? Well, first off, if you look at the American Express, they're going to give you nearly $800 in year 1, but going forward, you'll get $200 in flights, but then you have a $95 annual fee. So you really don't earn any more than a Capital One Basic unless you're flying Delta and you're able to offset that. The American Express card is going to pay all this money up front to get you on their card, but going forward, if you're not using their services, frankly, it's not worth it, in my opinion. Wells Fargo has a phenomenal $200 up front plus the 2% back. It's great. I think this is where it comes down to which card do you think is easier to pay, which card is there for you if you have fraud on your card, and all so forth. So, like, for instance, Capital One for me, I had been traveling a lot for work. My card got in a hot status for fraud. They overnighted a card to me when I was out of my own city. That shows me exactly what type of credit card company I'm with. And yes, it's the lowest on this miles or cash back, but I'm okay with that because unless I'm traveling, American Express, they're not going to get me much there. And plus, I have to use the miles on their product. So I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm not saying that if you don't spend a ton of money traveling that couldn't exponentially grow. But for the standard yous and me's of the world that maybe spend $10,000 a year on our credit cards, this is a great example of where you can look at this and go, it's just not worth it. Awesome perks though, especially if you're traveling, it might be to the point where it's worth it, especially if your company is not reimbursing you for bag fees and so forth. So this is all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this as an eye-opener. I will say the marketing of this is phenomenal. They did really, really, really good job going through everything. So kudos to you, Delta, on that one. Wells Fargo, really boring, but it's right to the point. So remember, credit cards, you got to be responsible with them no matter what you do. If you're smart, you can use them to your advantage. I don't care what Dave Ramsey says about never using credit card and plastic is not good. Plastics gets you a lot of free kickbacks, but you got to be responsible. So that is all for today. Hope you have a great rest of your day.